A very good morning to all. So today we will continue from page number 119. In the previous class, we have discussed about the Jallianwala Bagh incident and the spread of armed revolution by Indians. Today we will discuss about the civil disobedience movement. But before that, let's discuss about the salt satyagraha that was led by Mahatma Gandhi. When Britishers came to India, they introduced many laws, and with these laws, they introduced heavy taxes on salt. As a result of this, the cost of salt increased and the common people were not able to buy the salt. Next thing was that they also imposed many salt laws, which did not allow the Indians to produce or to manufacture salt and to sell them in India. And if anyone were found producing or selling salt, they were put in jail for 6 months. So when Mahatma Gandhi and other Indian leaders, they came to know about these laws, they felt it was unfair and they decided to protest against it. And Mahatma Gandhi also felt that with this salt, he can unite the people of India to fight against the Britishers. So, on 31st January 1930, Mahatma Gandhi sent a letter to the then Viceroy Irwin stating 11 demands. So, these demands included the removal of high taxes on salt and the removal of restriction on salt production and selling by the Indians. So, this letter was like a final ultimatum or a warning to the Britishers. He said that if the demands were not fulfilled by 11th March 1930, then the Congress would launch a civil disobedience movement. But the Britishers, they took it very lightly and these demands were not fulfilled. And on 12th March 1930, Mahatma Gandhi organized Salt Satyagraha or the Salt March, because Mahatma Gandhi said that next to air and water, salt is the greatest necessity of life. Salt is very important because it makes our food tasty and it is also good for health. So on 12th March 1930, Mahatma Gandhi organized a salt march from Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad to the sea village Dandi, which is located in the south of Gujarat. So, this salt march started on 12th March 1930 with Gandhi ji along with his 78 followers. Now, the distance between Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad till Dandi is about 240 miles, and people across the country, they joined Gandhi ji and his followers to fight against the British rule, to protest against heavy taxes on salt and also to protest against the salt laws. So, Gandhi and his followers, they walked about 12 miles a day, and within 3 weeks they reached Dandi, that is on 6th April 1930. And at the end of the salt march, that is when he and his followers reached Dandi, Mahatma Gandhi violated salt law. He violated it by manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law on 6th April 1930, and with this civil disobedience movement started. And following the salt march, around 80,000 Indians along with Mahatma Gandhi were arrested and they were put in jail. Women and children were beaten everywhere. After seeing these incidents, the British administration in London, they invited Mahatma Gandhi to discuss about the new reforms in India. So Mahatma Gandhi, he went to London, but this discussion or this negotiation didn't go well and he returned India disappointed. After returning to India, he again relaunched civil disobedience movement. Now here you can see the picture of Mahatma Gandhi and Sarojini Naidu on the Dandi March. So when he returned to India, he relaunched civil disobedience movement. Now, let's see how this non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement differs from each other. So, we know that in non-cooperation movement, people were asked not to cooperate with the Britishers. But here in civil disobedience movement, Mahatma Gandhi urged people to break the law. So, many of them broke the salt law by manufacturing salt, and various demonstrations and protests were held in front of government salt factories. Foreign clothes were boycotted. They were burnt in big bonfires. Then peasants, poor farmers, they did not pay taxes. Many of them, they resigned from their job. And in many places, forest people, they broke forest law by going into the forest for wood and cattle grazing. So, these were the ways in which Indian people, they participated in civil disobedience movement. So, in this class, we learnt about the salt satyagraha and the civil disobedience movement, which was led by Mahatma Gandhi. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.